Good morning. This is Chloe Papadakis, and this is today's Quiet Echo. Every so often, I teach a little beginner class. Watercolors or clay or once, and I will never forget it, the ukulele. And every single time, the very same small thing happens right there at the door. A grown adult comes and stands just outside of it, coat still on, clutching the little supply list I sent out, and simply cannot make themselves come in. I have taught long enough now to know the look on sight. It is not confusion about which room it is. No, it is the plain old fear of being bad at something in front of other living people. Some of them work up the nerve, and they step on through. And some of them turn right around and go on home, and I never do see them again. And I have been thinking about the ones who go home, all this week. Because today, the 13th of August, is the anniversary of the day Julia Child died, back in 2004, just 2 days shy of her 92nd birthday. And I tell you, if the person frozen there in the doorway ever had herself a patron saint, it was this woman. Now, here is the part I think people tend to forget about her. Julia Child was no prodigy. She did not grow up at her mother's elbow, rolling out pie pastry. By her own cheerful telling, she could not really cook, not at all, until she was already well into her 30s. Up until then, she liked to say, she just ate. She was a tall and loud and rather uncertain woman from Pasadena, who did not go and find the great love of her life until the age when most of us have long since decided who we are and who we are not. She got serious about it over in France after the war, at a fancy cooking school just full of men half her age. Her great big famous book did not even come out until she was pushing 50, and she did not stand up in front of a television camera as the French chef until she was 51 years old. And then, once she finally got there, she went and did the most radical thing of the whole business. She let people sit and watch her be imperfect. Her show felt alive and just a little bit dangerous because things went wrong on it, and she left every bit of it in. A sauce would break, a flip would miss the pan entirely, and she would just laugh and gather it all back together and carry right along. Because she believed, down to her bones, the fear of failing was about the only thing in a kitchen able to ever truly stop you. You had to have, she liked to say, a what-the-hell attitude. And I think we have gone and lost a good bit of it. And I do not entirely blame us for it either. Because we all live now inside a kind of enormous gallery, hung wall to wall with everybody else's finished work. Every single craft comes to us already perfect, already mastered, with the 10,000 ugly first tries neatly edited out of the picture. And so we soak up the idea real quiet and real young. If our first loaf comes out dense, or our first little drawing comes out crooked, or our first song comes out sour, well then, we must simply not be one of the people who does this thing, and we set it down, and we walk away. Julia Child would have found the whole business heartbreaking. She was walking, talking proof you could start late, and you could start badly, and you could still go and spend the entire back half of your life head over heels in love with a craft. Now, let me confess something to you. A few years back, I signed up for a pottery class myself. Me, the one who runs these things. And my very first bowl came out of my hands looking like something the cat had sat on, lopsided and thick and sad. And I sat there at the wheel, a grown woman, a person who plans this exact kind of evening for other folks, and I felt my face go hot. And I wanted nothing in the whole world so much as to just quietly gather my coat and slip out the side door before anyone got a good look at it. I did not leave. I stayed, mostly out of stubbornness, and I am so glad I did. But I have never once forgotten how strong the little pull toward the door really was. The pull is the enemy, not the dense loaf, not the ugly bowl. The pull toward the door. My daughter is 4 years old, and she paints like a person who has never in her whole life wondered for 1 second whether she is any good at it. She hands me up a big brown smear and tells me, beaming, it is a horse, and it is a horse. Somewhere in the long years between 4 and 40, most of us go and lose it outright. We trade away the plain joy of the doing for the cold fear of the judging, and then we go and call it growing up. I am no longer very sure it is. So here is what I want to say to you on the anniversary of a woman who started at 32 and never once apologized for a minute of it. Go and take the class. Buy the cheap ukulele. Make the crooked bowl and the dense loaf and the horse looking for all the world like a smear. Do it badly, and do it gladly, and do it right out where your children can watch you do it, so they learn, early, how being a beginner is not some shame to go and hide away, but the front door to very nearly everything in this life worth loving. And if you happen to be the one standing outside the classroom in your coat, holding the supply list, unable to make yourself walk in, well, I am the woman who runs those classes, and there is a chair in here with your name on it. Julia saved it for you. Come on in. The front porch is open. What is a craft you started late or quit too soon for fear of being bad at it? Come and tell us, and if we get something wrong, tell us, and we will run the correction. The readers of the Cedar Valley News are gathering to share their stories and keep company with respect and no party lines. Come sit with us. I will put the link in the show notes. This is Chloe Papadakis, your host for today's Quiet Echo. Thanks for listening. Quiet Echo is part of the fictional Cedar Valley News series, written by Evan Swenson, publisher, and Claude Marshall, AI developmental editor. While the town of Cedar Valley is fictional, Julia Child was real. Born Julia Mexie Williams in Pasadena, California, on August 15, 1912, she has said she could not really cook until her 30s, took up the craft seriously in Paris after the Second World War, and studied at Le Cordon Bleu. Her book, Mastering the Art of French Cooking, written with Simone Beck and Louisette Berthal, was published in 1961, and her television program The French Chef premiered in 1963, when she was 51. She died on August 13, 2004, in Montecito, California, 2 days before her 92nd birthday. Her remark about needing a certain attitude in the kitchen is widely quoted. Sources include PBS American Masters and the Schlesinger Library at Harvard.
You've been listening to the Cedar Valley News Podcast, where small-town voices meet the headlines shaping our world. From faith and family to front porches and fields. We'll be back with more stories connecting real lives to real events. Until next time, keep your porch light on, your faith strong, and your heart open. This is Cedar Valley News.